Hello everyone, and welcome to another expert session number 72. And today I am joined by Wellington Silva. So just a brief intro about Wellington. Wellington Silva is the tech director at Riachuelo, who led the team behind one of the company's most daring technical challenges, launching on TikTok Shop with zero local references and an 8-week deadline. So just for some context, Riachuelo is one of Brazil's largest fashion retailers with over 300 stores and 30,000 employees. It's part of the Guararapes Group, the largest clothing manufacturer in Latin America with revenues of more than 7.5 billion reais, somewhere around 1.5 billion USD. Now, here's why today's session matters. Brazil is TikTok's third largest market in the world, with 98 million plus adult users spending on average 60 minutes a day on the platform. And TikTok Shop is aiming to capture up to 9% of Brazil's e-commerce market by 2028. So everyone is talking about TikTok Shop, but very few know how to actually launch at the scale with speed and under pressure. Wellington, welcome. We always start with a controversial question. And the question for you is, no integration in place, no local benchmarks, 11 internal teams involved, and the TikTok team only speaking English. We know that English isn't widely spoken in Brazil. So, how do you lead through that and still go live on time?
Well, Carlos, first of all, thank you again for the invitation to join the Evolve community and to be here today to share that amazing story. And that's really, really like a nightmare, right? Like when we start to think about it, because we had this complexity, as you explained. Yeshuel is a super big company. And I think the more scariest thing of this history was the date. We had a specific date to join TikTok Shop in Brazil. At the first time, the midnight that day, TikTok Shop was to be live. So our plan is really to understand how to end there, how to start as a pioneer in the platform, and how to really work in the most important things to have this opportunity to stay there uh, without any risk to have delays, without any risk to have in tech aspects dependencies who could affect the launch date. So when you think about the global scenario to work with the TikTok team, some of them working in Brazil, but most of them outside Brazil. And also for the first time, they are working with some specific Brazilian bureaucracies. We had some specific ways to assure invoices. We have very local transportation companies to work. Some of transportation companies are companies from the government, like the Correios, and Correios is one of the TikTok Shop partners to run the logistics. So that's really complex because we received this opportunity. Our marketing team, the teams in charge of the channels expansion, had a great partnership with TikTok in Brazil. So we could receive really earlier information about the launch day and an invitation to stay there at that day. So here, working in tech, we received this challenge to really work close to marketing and to TikTok to assure this launch, to assure to Riachuelo to be part of it, and to many of that to learning a lot with the process. Because when you start fresh, when you start just the beginning, I think you have a very strategic advantage, right? Because you learn faster. You also discovers the opportunities to improve the way you're publishing your products, the way you were doing your live commerce sessions. So looking back, I think one of the things I'm more proud, Carlos, to be delivered to Riachuelo is that opportunity to the company to allow the company to learn fast. But of course, that's not easy to do something like this in 8 weeks. 8 weeks is a way to see that, because we really spend maybe 2 or 2.5 of these weeks in planning, in architecture definition, and some negotiation to really put the hands on code maybe during 5 weeks. So it's really, really more impressive.
That's amazing. I actually had a mini script that I prepared for you, but uh, I won't be so stiff to follow that. I want to take what you asked me here, what you mentioned. So how is it to innovate in a centenarian company? Because I mean, I think in fashion you can't really ignore TikTok, right? And even though this is like a beast, H&M is arriving in Brazil. They're making quite a lot of
It's true.
noise. They're about to launch their operation as well. But I like your take on. I'd like to hear your take on. Perhaps there's pushback. Perhaps the more traditional executives are a bit concerned, and rightly so. So can you comment a bit on some of the challenges there to make it happen fast?
Yeah, that's really, really impressive, because we are talking about a company um, that came from more decades. A company have 77 years of history. A company from the north region of Brazil. So that's an amazing cultural aspects about how the company produce the products. A company who have his own manufacturing plant in the north of Brazil. So Riachuelo is today one of the bigger brands in the fashion industry in terms of professionals directly working at the company. So it brings with a lot of responsibility too, and it could be seen as a scenario to to turn your decision process a little bit more delayed, not so fast, right? But I'm completing now one year and 1 month at the company, and came in from a digital native company to Riachuelo. I was really, really super um, uh, surprised with how fast the company is taking decisions, how fast is the desire to the company to go to innovate. And I can see it in the technology we are applying. I can see it in the cloud infrastructure we have available to do our integrations. So the company really prepared in terms of tech, a good background to allow the teams, the delivery teams, to create solutions in-house. And you can create solutions in-house, of course, if it's the best solution. But we have the architecture department here in e-commerce, the e-commerce area, to define where is the best to build, where is the best moment to buy. So it's really not all the time we are producing code. But at the end of the day, I found here this internal e-commerce platform, very well sustainable. We are doing a lot of exercises to really keep the platform updated and efficiency in terms of costs too. So it usually is not the type of discussions you have in more traditional retails or in so big companies. So I found here a super interesting environment to really have these technical discussions in a good technical skills here in terms of professionals and background of infrastructure. So it's something that's really moving the needles of our KPIs to advance. And this TikTok Shop project, I think in 8 weeks or 5 weeks in terms of the time we spend coding, I think that's a pretty amazing example about this the power to build solutions today. You can use AI, of course,
Mhm.
and our teams are using AI today to understand how to optimize the productivity and how to define better user stories too, and also for other user cases, right? But I think we don't need to do a lot of noise to put people to innovate. This
Mhm.
innovation is already in the minds of the people here, not just in tech. Riachuelo did a lot of restructuring work during the past 3 years to understand the org design structure, and a lot of new executives arrive at the company to join the people who already had a lot of experience in retail and in products and in manufacturing, plus the
Mhm.
digital things, the new supply chain opportunities. But think about it. One of the tech managers of the team have 18 years of experience in tech at Riachuelo,
Mhm.
and this professional is leading app strategy, web strategy. He is in charge of metrics like crash rate. Is in charge of metrics like the how many times the app is taking to be loaded or going to web. He's in charge of Google Core Web Vitals metrics. So people who is working here for so many years, it's updated, it's growing, is super excited, right?
Mhm.
To build new things. So this kind of challenge, like TikTok shops, and I think we will have some other opportunities to
Mhm.
cover other type of retail channels, because of
Mhm.
course I think when you think about conversational commerce, when you think also about how we will improve the way we will put the products available to AIs to consume
Mhm.
data from our platform. We still have a lot of opportunities. We have opportunities we still probably don't know, right? Because the
Mhm.
companies are being super fast to launch new technology. But I'm super confident, I'm super comfortable with the team and how the company is super open to
Brilliant.
promote this innovation and go to the places when we're seeing the opportunity and following these super modern trends from retail. In the case of TikTok Shop, we are talking about social commerce plus live commerces. So that's a
Mhm.
bit of the mood we have at the company at those days.
No, very good, very good. In the audience now, we have, it's very interesting. I'm looking at the audience and I'm going to tell you a little bit of their profiles because I think they're going to have questions and I might ask them to jump in before I was expecting, but we have Diego Sampaio, who has a company. He helps companies enters the US. Patrick Sobral, innovation lead at
Amazing.
Boticari, one of the largest beauty companies of the world. Tim, who's this guy from the Netherlands, always worked with in payments, works in a renowned software integrator from Romania now, launching him in the Netherlands. Vini, just mentioned here, Vini launched the first TikTok um, integration in Ireland. He's from Ireland. Uh,
Amazing.
his agency, Fernando, works with growth. So a very interesting mix of people.
Mhm.
We spoke before the session that we were gonna speak mostly about not necessarily the business side of things, but more like the technical aspects, right? But looking at what you guys are doing, perhaps you could, if you could mention, how you guys st- started. So was there any MVP approach just to make this happen? Was there what you guys structure put in place to say, okay, these are the things that need to happen to make this in 8 weeks? So what were the non-negotiables, and how what were the pieces that you needed in place? You mentioned 11 teams, so I think there are challenges there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think about the teams, you can think about a very big structure because you have logistics, and logistics needs to learn how to receive specific products for TikTok Shop channel and put that products in specific lanes to deliver to specific trucks from specific TikTok Shop careers. We have the studio working close to understand live commerce and which influencer or even professionals from stores could work to test, right, the live commerce possibilities. Accounting, treasury departments to taxes, these other departments trying to understand, okay, how TikTok will pay us back after to get the commission, how the amount paid will go back to Riachuelo, and how we will explain at the books, right, that money is from specific channel. So we have something in Brazil. We call the attribution of the money. When you have so specific channels, you need to have this trackability about, okay, this amount is from this order. So that's a lot of aspects to put in place, and that's a part of the challenge. And for a lot of that companies, tech was the department in charge to go together business and do the first approach to explain how TikTok Shop is important in terms of a technological trend, in terms of a retailer trend. But when you think about uh, everything we could build the services to synchronize the catalog. That's something important. You need to push your catalog to TikTok Shop. You also need to receive orders. So you can receive orders from TikTok Shop. You need to understand how to create that order in our ERP system in a way it could handle together your other thousands of orders, right, daily. And you need to organize the process into your distribution center too. But that's not the end. We also need to think about returns. We also need about to think in customer support. We also need to think about these payments, conciliation, and tracking. So what we did to start to stay there so earlier at the day zero was to simplify the scope. We worked with catalog, orders, and logistics. We choose to start the integration into these three services, the most important services. So have the catalog, update prices, update the availability of the products too. That was super important. Receive orders and share status, like, okay, the order now is delivered, the order now is shipped. That was super important too. And work in logistics and distribution center to have the systems and the labels. You need to have the specific TikTok label for the packages. So we work close to there, not just in tech, but also with the local team to assure this process. So when you think about that MVP draw that you have the possibility to deliver in a car, the tires, after that the the motor, after that the all the vehicle, and of course it will take time to have the vehicle. We go to the MVP, really the MVP aspect. You start with a skate, after that we have a bicycle, maybe a motorcycle, and after that a car. We started with the skate, but to start so basic, you need to have the confidence to everyone, because like we say, we have 11 departments, right? Looking at the project, we have 11 departments who could be affected, who could have their productivity compromised if you put there some orders in not so structured way, if you're not prepared then to really understand how the money is split in terms of deliver costs, commission costs, and the consumer goods cost too. So we need to have this view of how important is the project, and a really partnership sentiment to everyone. Because when you have 11 points, if just 1 point or two of that areas put up the hands to say, hey, I'm not comfortable, you really could have the possibility to not advance with the project at the day zero. So it's important to you to have, yes, you need to have the MVP, but you need to share confidence that the MVP is not the end. The MVP is really the first part, and after the delivery of the MVP, okay, we will celebrate. Now the company is in TikTok shop. That's amazing. But now in the second day after that, in the following day, you will continue the project. So we will continue the payment conciliation project. We will continue with the returns way to allow a customer to go directly in TikTok and started a return because maybe the size of the product was not with the best fit. So you need to have this type of service connected, but we not implemented this service from the day zero. So you need to do really smart decisions. We called here at the team, you need to be a little bit radical in terms of the first delivery to allow this effect, to allow this possibility to everyone to learn in phases, to really fast discover the next priority. Because when you have a so complex timeline, maybe your second task, your third task, your task number 10, maybe that task was not at the best order when you think in so medium or long term. So when we started so basic, we had this opportunity, and something we discovered going online was the importance in TikTok shop to have the gifts for influencers. So you have a service who allow some influencers, some creators to ask for the company for gifts. So you will send to these creators products for free. Sometimes we will land these products, receive back, or sometimes you're just sending the products to allow them to create content with your products. So that was a service we're not put in place from day zero. But when we started, we realized, oh, the service to send gifts to creators, maybe it's more important there some other ones we predict in our roadmap. So let's bring the service first and continue the roadmap after that. So that's really so dynamic. That's really is super compatible with the way, right? The digital companies really works.
Mm-hmm.
So it do that in more traditional departments outside tech. Do that with the marketing and the business department was
Mm-hmm.
super intense. and we are super proud right now, right? Because
Sure.
we are talking about this story during past week, during this week, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we already did 11 live commerce sessions, some of them with
Mm-hmm.
more than 200,000 um, users in TikTok watching the live commerce session. So we really, really learn a lot through this strategy.
Well, this is very, very interesting. I think the whole technical aspect is crucial, if not critical, to make this work, because then it becomes more likely a marketing exercise, marketing and kind of like commercial excellence. Let's put it this way. But you know what I find it interesting. It's when you look at TikTok, and you guys, you actually mentioned this in our networking room. You have a proprietary platform, right? So your e-commerce platform is proprietary, or the groups. So you don't use like a off the shelf kind of
True.
solution. And then you have TikTok, which essentially what you're sharing with all the level of integrations and everything you guys done. It's more like a marketplace model, right? So you
Exactly.
have,
Yeah.
and that is very interesting. Also from, maybe you don't need to share, but from a business perspective, you have your, let's say, your existing clients. They know the website. Maybe there's a club there. I don't know so much about the business aspect of Riachuelo at the moment today, but then the TikTok strategy, where you have this pool of clients were there, and you're taking advantage of the platform, and there's all of the technical aspects, payments and everything that needs to happen there. But if you could comment on some of your perhaps views on how do you think TikTok is going to change, or is already changing commerce? Because companies, they have their platforms regardless whether it's proprietary or not, and there's a cost to maintain that, a total cost of ownership, as people say.
Yeah.
And then you have this behemoth, this beast, this marketplace, where you know you're using it as well. So your views on how commerce is changing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think TikTok's like a window to allow their users to discover new things, right?
Hmm.
To discover recipes, to discover how to better do the settings in your iPhone, or to discover products, right? Or to discover new products that could complete your lifestyle. So that's the opportunity they really implemented in a very well shape into their product. You could show your products basically in your profile. So if you go to TikTok and you search for Riachuelo, you go to Riachuelo profile. You need to have your account setting for Brazil territory to see the Riachuelo TikTok shop, the store, and you go there to the profile and you have all catalog. That's the way to show the products, but not the single one. You also can stay online and start a live session. This live session for other profiles could be just to talk about your expertise to your followers, kind of thing. In a brand, in a retailer brand, this live session will be a live commerce. So it's super easy in TikTok to start a live session and to put focus on specific products. And during COVID, a lot of companies started a little bit more complex approaches to do live commerces. You need to have a super big infrastructure. You could have specific softwares to put the products. That was super easy to you to sell more pieces than you really have. So they really prepared the digital products to support there. So I can go online, I can talk about this blazer, and I will show the blazer at the screen, and I will share with all the audience how many users are clicking in that product at that moment. So all the social experience in live is very well. It's very complete. That's really interesting. And other way, the last way I see is the possibility to allow creators to create content and bring your products to the video. So to assign some of your catalog products to their content, and sometimes based on the performance of that content, you can go to that post and put more audience. You can go there and super put a boost on that content to talk about a product. So I think TikTok created this super machine to have engagement and to turn easier to people to discover new products. If you can go to the transaction without to left the social network, is really really easier, and that's the way you can go there. You can put your address, your government number. In Brazil it's called CPF, it's like a social security
Mhm.
number. You can go there, your address, payment method, it will be saved after your first purchase, and it will be available there for everyone who is selling in TikTok shop. So, like you said, Carlos, is really a marketplace strategy. Is a very complete marketplace strategy. We're really talking about intermediation. So
Mhm.
their fees, their take rates. You need to think about how many you are planning to spend to promote your products. Of course, during the launch moments, we have some advantages because everyone wants to to put to teach, right, the users about the
Mhm.
platform. And after some time it will become maybe more challenging in terms of optimization, but we really talk about intermediation. So when
Mhm.
think about the total number of orders we have at Riachuelo e-commerce, we are putting at the numbers a prediction to have 5 to 9% of all orders coming from TikTok Shop in
Wow.
some moment next year. And that's
Mhm.
really really not so different about and to be honest, is a little bit more conservative in comparison what is happening for
Mhm.
lifestyle categories in more mature markets like Asia and United States,
Mhm.
where TikTok Shop is really running more than 1 year right now. So that's our planning. But think about it, that's not just about TikTok. We will soon, very soon, talk about transactions happening directly in Google Shopping.
Mhm.
And maybe it's not to be something crazy to think in transactions happening in WhatsApp too.
Mhm.
For Brazil market, WhatsApp is
For
something so
sure, for
huge,
sure.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we have TikTok, we have Google Shopping, we have WhatsApp, we have AI, right? Probably in Gemini, in ChatGPT, maybe also to be able in some moment to do transactions. Think about it. So we need to think in our e-commerces and in our own apps, in our own websites, and how we will differentiate, right, the experiences to, okay, to have these transactions from third party channels, but also to have your most loyal clients going directly to your properties, seeing you as a destination to go to your products, to have this relationship, to turn a little bit obvious, to looking for you first when they have this need to consume that categories,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think intermediation will be something is really right now. It's something everyone considering to go to retail, considering also to create a digitally native vertical brand to put in
Mm-hmm.
the planes. You not go there so directly to your customers. Probably we will have a lot of layers of intermediation in your strategy, and you need to think how to deal with that to not become just a commodity provider of products, right? So it's really something more deeper than the tech aspects I see,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also so interesting, right? And it's so, I think, something that will happen. It's not something negotiable, I think, in terms of market,
Mm-hmm.
that the possibility to learn faster how the behavior needs to be there. It's something very important
Mm-hmm.
to every company to try.
Thank you. So we'll start with our members asking questions. The first one is Luis. Luis, welcome. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Luis.
So please go ahead.
Sure. So thanks, Wellington, for sharing the case, for the introduction. Congrats, by the way. It's a big achievement in a such short notice. And I think a bold step to Riachuelo and a new horizon upcoming. So my question to you is how do you measure success? So there is this big achievement of releasing the new channel. So what comes next and how are you guys measuring the success?
That's something not so easy to measure, right? Because maybe when you finish this launch, we will go to TikTok shop dashboard and start to do a lot of refresh at the page to understand, oh my god, how many orders I will have into the first day, and it's not so immediately, right, the results. So I think you need to measure it based in what type of conversations to you are allowing the company to do with investors, with the board, with the market, how you are going to differentiate your company in comparison with your competitors, and how much you learn, how much you are allowing marketing, studio, physical stores to learn from that examples. How much your infrastructure becomes also more responsible to this kind of initiative, because we did some decisions in terms of architecture, Luis, who will allow us to be faster when new marketplace like channels needs to be integrated to the platform. So there's a lot of success metrics to measure it, and I think that's not so quantitative at the first look, but it need to becomes, right, it need to become, so you have the metrics about right now how percentage of the orders this channel will be responsible for, and you have your costs to build that. But I think you have some reputational metrics, more qualitative ones, that's the importance to have too. And right now, the pride to tell this history and to know we was the first one in our industry in Brazil to stay there. Even like Carlos said, we received some media some financial analysis talk about maybe Riachuelo will not be one of the first ones because they're so big. And no, we stay there. So I think in the beginning it could be a little bit more qualitative, and that's okay. So, do you know?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I was just wondering because typically any sales channel, people immediately look at sales.
Mhm.
And I was exploring now the TikTok shop of Riachuelo. I saw more than almost 1 million followers already. But what
Yeah,
took most of my attention is to see how much young people doing videos at store. So I was wondering, the store becomes suddenly a spot to show off on the internet, and then these young people, it's a sort of traffic generation to the store to
it's
attract
true.
more
It's
people,
true.
the young ones. And my first reaction was I was impressed by the amount of people just organically recording videos promoting the products, but to show off themselves, and that's typically the TikTok thing on the internet, especially for the youngest ones.
And Luis, that's an amazing thing to think, because think about how it will affect the store's architecture. Maybe we need
Indeed,
to have a smaller studio, a smaller space, right? A specific corner to allow creators to
exactly.
go there. We did the experience in a music festival in Brazil, the Lollapalooza Brazil. Riachuelo was there with our jeans brand. It's called Pool Jeans,
Okay,
and we had this space more designed like a backstage from a main stage of a rock concert with guitars, and a lot of people was there to create content about jeans. So I think in terms of retail for lifestyle, it also could really affect the architecture of the spaces.
definitely.
It needs to be
Very
more
interesting.
Instagrammable and TikTok friendly, right? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm a follower
Cool.
now, by the way. So good luck, all the best in the endeavor.
Thank you. Amazing.
Thanks, Luis. Vinny
Hey
O'Brien
guys,
is
how's it going?
getting
Hey,
old.
Vinny.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and thanks so much for sharing, Wellington. We've TikTok in Ireland took a slightly different approach, and I'll just share it with you briefly, and then maybe just ask a question because there's a generational thing happening that I'd love to just tease out with you a little bit. But when they decided to launch here, what TikTok recognized in Ireland was that we have a small island economy, and there's a level at which brands can grow
Mhm.
here. So you can only invest so much in marketing, and you get this kind of repeat cycle that people go through. So there's been a real kind of dent in the confidence. eBay Ireland didn't take off. It was made redundant when I joined them. Not coincidental, just it was happening anyway. It wasn't my fault. But they made that redundant in 2011, and it's never recovered since. They tried an initiative during COVID, run by the staff over here, to relaunch eBay in Ireland for retailers, and they gave 12 months free account management and all this great stuff up front. But retailers just did not have the time to commit to it. And when they were launching the model here, they said that we're going to do two things to help you. And the first one was we're going to require that all businesses who are partaking in TikTok Shop Ireland are registered entities in Ireland. And that was the first big positive step they took. What that meant was there was no cross border trade coming into the country. So it was really targeting small Irish businesses. And the second phase of that was they realized as well that these are people who are time poor and maybe they don't have the integration as sophisticated as you've set up, but they recognized that all these people had phones. They were already creating social media content in other places, and they were working with creators and influencers as well. So they said, well, why don't we create a model that's going to still be in your hand? It's something you can manage in your own time. It's lo-fi content, and it's going to be easy for you to continue to do the things that you're doing. We're just going to give you a place to transact. And I think they really got that right, and they pre-registered lots of people, and they went to the right categories, and they made it easy for them to onboard. And they did it with a team of two people, which I thought was astonishing from a TikTok perspective. But the point that I think is interesting in what you were saying and what Luis was just saying was that sometimes we think about our product sales in terms of where our brand is at holistically. But if I go back to when I was working in department stores, maybe you've got to look at the product during its own life cycle and say, well, if I want to do a launch of a new brand or a new variant or a new trainer line that we're bringing in, that's what the vehicle is. It's like getting it to people first and letting them know the message behind it, and then let them tell the story on our behalf. And the purpose that it has, Wellington, you're right. It's trying to figure out what are those metrics that are going to be right for me. And I've kind of developed this my own kind of ramble at the minute. It's called the culture of curiosity, and I love that TikTok can provide that for us. And it, I think that comes from marketplaces in general, having worked in them for so long, that you've got to be curious about what you can learn on there and take it back into your organization and say, you know what, we've learned that from the 40 brands that we carry, there's only 20 of them people talk about on TikTok. So let's start with that. Let's give ourselves the best chance to be part of the conversation and not worry about all those things we can't
Yeah.
be in. And I'm just wondering, is that a similar approach that you've taken or seen other people take?
And like you said, Vinny, it's not needs to start even complex. The TikTok Seller Center, it's super complete. To you go there to write your product, to upload your photos, to handle your logistic. You don't need to even to work connected with an ERP system. So be part of that. It's not something with a super friction. So it's to keep curiosity, to keep curious, right, about that. In retail, it's important because, uh, of course, there's a lot of new trends to go, a lot of new trends to try. And when you start to become faster, become good in this type of experiment, it keeps you right into the conversation, and that's super important.
I think so, and just kind of following on from that, it's also opened up the opportunity for people who have never been in e-commerce before to become part of
Mhm.
e-commerce teams. And what I've seen becoming an evolving trend is the hiring of people is what's determining the hiring of the right people is determining channel success. If you've got a culture where you have someone who's a visionary leader and they say, we're going to hire someone to manage our TikTok channel who is a TikTok user, they need to be part of that platform culture. I think that's something,
Yeah.
at least in my last 3 or 4 years. I'm 45 next year. I feel really old. But if I was going back in to lead a big team right now, I would certainly be saying, well, there's so much I don't know about the platform because I don't spend 6 hours a day in there, of 3 kids, of too many other things to keep me busy. But what I do want is somebody who eats, sleeps, and breathes that channel, and let them do their thing, and don't judge them by my own success metrics that I've built for 20 years. Let them figure that out and come to me with the things that they want to do, or do. There's this great thing we had on eBay. It was called stop, start, do more of. Stop doing the things that are not working, and provide a place that people understand this. Start doing something new all the time, like, always be
Mhm.
trying something. And then the other part of it was do more of the things that work for you frequently, and create that culture or that environment where these things are possible. And final point in all of this is that around the world, what I find evolving at the minute is marketplace culture, where it's different in Latin America to what's happening in Europe and in Asia. But the one big thing that we've seen is that in certain parts of the globe, marketplace selling is the number one route to get customers. If
Mhm.
we try and go the other way and say direct to consumer is the way we're going to go, I think we've got a big challenge. And I look to North America as where I do most of my work right now. The biggest challenge they have is that I think it's about 48% of all commerce comes from marketplaces. Whereas if I look to somewhere like China, it's 96%. You've got this real
Whoa.
dilemma in those countries where that split is so big, where in other regions, and like Mercado Libre has been such a huge
Mhm.
global player, another set of amazing results this quarter. Um, they've already set the tone for where customers go to buy and how we should be creating the experience that we want. And I think that sometimes there's really good signposts in front of us and we just ignore them. We try to do the cool thing coming from North America when it's not always the right thing. And they're trying to figure those aspects out in North America. And I can see marketplace selling exceeding 50% in the next 18 months over there and continuing to grow over the next few years.
Amazing. I think in terms of marketing, we are more close to Europe. We really have a lot of new startups. I did a research for my Master of Science degree here. I finished past year, and I met around 20 entrepreneurs who start the DNVBs, and everyone started super far from marketplaces, Vinny.
Yeah.
So that's really the way I think in it here in Brazil, in Latin America. And I agree with you. I think this way to think will move. That's really not fast, but marketplaces, we still have this huge space to grow here.
Absolutely. Guys, I've got to be rude and jump off onto a customer call, but thank you so much for letting me join the community and for sharing so freely today, Wellington. Really, really great to learn
Thank you,
from you.
Vinny.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Carlos.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
Gustavo.
Thanks, Vinny. Good to see
See you guys.
All right. Gustavo, you want to jump in? Do we have more people who want to ask Wellington questions? Very insightful, Wellington. Really, really nice.
Oh, amazing, guy. That was a pleasure to share a little bit of this project with you. I hope to have more projects soon to go back here to the discussion.
Go ahead, Gustavo. Gustavo will ask you probably.
Hi guys, hi Wellington. So yeah, so I'd like to understand well from this experience while connecting with TikTok and Riachuelo and also the size of the company and well we're from Brazil, we understand the size and how Riachuelo is spread around throughout the country. And but do you see any type of regionalities when it comes to TikTok shop usage or number of orders? Of course, we have São Paulo, which is the largest consuming market in Brazil for basically any type of vertical. But do,
Yeah.
can you already see something a bit different or something that stood out from your point of view?
It's it's too soon, Gustavo, I think.
Mhm.
And like you started, of course, this south region here of Brazil, who have São Paulo, Rio, and Paraná state too. It's super relevant in terms of the market share of number of orders. Apparently, TikTok will follow this distribution
Mhm.
too. So, but we have a lot of opportunities. We're talking about a brand from the north of Brazil, right?
Yeah.
And we have a physical presence in the entire country. So I think that's a super insightful, Gustavo, thing to bring it back to the team and to take a look how maybe we could work right with these very regional creators and try to explore how their sales could uh, distribute better the products. Think about it. We have a lot of hubs. We don't have only one single distribution center. We have a distribution
Yeah.
center here in São Paulo, and we have another one in the north of Brazil, in Rio Grande do Norte, in Natal. So I think you have an amazing insight, but I think considering it's maybe too soon, I can bet the distribution will follow a lot the e-commerce distribution right now, but something to see and to follow. And of course, maybe we could have a lot of great opportunities on it.
Great.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
most
awesome.
most of it. Yes, I also imagine something. maybe with time you'll be able to see at least maybe some type of views and interest from the north, right? Because Riachuelo is from there, so maybe you have more probably a brand presence towards the competitors there. So maybe in terms of views and something like that, you will be able to see and to understand more the your consumers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Great.
Uh,
So thank
r-
you.
awesome. Thanks, Gustavo. We are on 55 minutes, so I have just two final questions. Try to make it one, just a compact question, so I can leave you off my hook, Wellington. But first off, very, very, very insightful session today. Yeah, what I like to ask you is more like, if I had to summarize, like the key points of this session for me today were like, number one, yes, it took quite a lot of effort to get the teams aligned. There are uh, there were critical aspects like payments, logistics, CX, to make this happen, right? And then after you made sure that the teams were in line and that you were going to deliver a good experience, and then you could put all of the other, let's say, more flashy details and things to complement your operation. Um, what I find interesting here is, yeah, I like to have your perspective on what do most tech teams underestimate when entering social commerce, and not only the tech teams, but yeah, tech, maybe marketing. I think you touched some really interesting aspects. So, for example, reaching new regions, right? You just mentioned the distribution centers that you guys have in other parts of Brazil. So, what are some of the things that teams underestimate, and perhaps not even underestimate, but things that you were learning that you wouldn't expect,
Hmm.
like.
I think the moments we saw more risks to the timeline, the moments we get a little bit worried about the possibility to deliver the project on time. That's because we identified the possibilities to have the best performance in tech, in development, in the prioritization. Sometimes something simpler as the way we wrote the history in the board for the developers. So I think you had we had TikTok shop super engaged. We had marketing super engaged. We had that 11 departments super trusting us. And the most critical moment in some part of the project, Carlos, we had a trouble. That was in tech. That was in some priorities about tasks and the capability of the some specific development teams into the product into the project to prioritize well that specific tasks. So I think we look a lot around the project, but we in some maybe two for 1 or 2 days when you go back to specific tasks, we realize, oh my god, it's became delayed. Let's put effort here to go. So I think in this kind of so complex project, we are doing a lot of politics, right? We are doing a lot of sessions to engage a lot of parts outside your areas of responsibility. So when it happens, uh, keep looking at your ground, keep looking at your yard too, because into your own yard, maybe your your rabbits could be jumping outside the fence. So that's the point. I think we did a lot of very great work with outside
Mhm.
areas. And in some moment, oh my God, let's look to our tasks here. Maybe this one is not so clear the date. Maybe this one is not simpler enough. So let's reorganize, and it allowed us to have success.
Brilliant. Well, that was Wellington Silva, ladies and gents. Thanks very much, Wellington. Amazing
Thank
to
you.
have
It
you
was a
on.
pleasure.
Yeah, very nice. Just the final thing, if folks want to know more about you and how they can find you, what's the best way?
Okay, you can follow me in LinkedIn. I have a profile. I'm a top voice there. That's amazing because I don't have too much followers. But you can look to me. You can call me Well, so
Mhm.
WELL, and Jose like Jose from Spanish, but in Brazil, José. So Well José or Wellington Silva. It's easy to find me there, and use
Perfect.
it to weekly post some content related to retail and education. It would be great to see you there.
Fantastic. Wellington, thanks very much. I'll catch you offline.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Carlos.
and thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone. See you.
Perfect.